Hi, my name is Laura Mueller, and I would like to talk to you about my personal philosophy to leadership. So, I want to break this up into three sections, and each section I want to base on one of my core competencies of my philosophy of leadership. So, me personally, I am an MD, MBA student at Tulane University, and this video is for a final assignment for leadership and management at Tulane University Freeman School of Business. So, for my first core competency, I would like to explain to you values-based leadership. So this is something that I really want to embody at my core, and I want it to be the what people think of me when they think of me as a leader. Everything that I do, I really want to ask myself if it aligns with my values and aligns with the mission, and it also reflects on my values and my mission. So, um, when I lead, I do want to also surround myself with people that have my same values and mission, and then be employed and lead groups that have the same values and mission as I do. I think you can get this example in the case study that I presented with my group in management class with General Janet Wolfenbarger. She really embodied values based leadership, because if you looked at the decisions that you made, you could look at her narrative, her whole life story, and say, this is where she got that value from, and this is why she made that decision, and it reflects well on her values. So I think by doing that, it establishes integrity for yourself, and it also allows you to learn from every experience that you have, because I'll never be doing something or telling someone to do something if it doesn't have basis in my values. So that is the first thing that I want someone to think of when they think of me as a leader. Second off, being a leader, I think it's also important to be involved in supportive leadership. So I think supportive leadership is lifting the people up that are working for you or working with you. And I think I can best explain this by reflecting on my leadership interview that I had with my leader, and I asked him, how do you establish trust with your employees? And he said that he holds them to the highest standard and helps them be better. And I don't want to say that I'll tell them that they are not doing a good job, but more so just motivating people and showing them, giving them the ability to be their best selves and showing them their strengths, while also incorporating constructive feedback so that they can be the best versions of themselves in the workplace. So that's what I do hope to embody with supportive leadership. I think that will allow me to foster very strong relationships. So being a leader is a lot of collaboration and creating a cohesive project, and the best way to do that is by having good relationship with people and knowing their strengths and knowing their weaknesses, while they also know that for you. So it can be related to values-based leadership, because I do find one of my values personally is to respect people and um, believe in the best in people. And then thirdly, the last component of my core leadership philosophy that I would like to talk to you about is just the skills-based leadership of communication. Personally, I think I've never held the leadership position that we are talked to about in class, where I am in charge of a large group of people or a corporation. But I do know from being a follower and a leader in smaller groups that communication is one of the foundations of leadership, and I don't think And after listening to a lot of case studies, especially with the PR disasters such as the BP spill, that you can be boiled down to the foundation of communication where that gets lost. So I think being so adamant about communication from the start of my career is extremely important, because that's where a lot of successful businesses lose their footing. So, for example, I think something that I personally want to start doing is whenever I have a meeting to send the meeting notes of what my understanding of the meeting was, so that we are on the same page with everything as soon as we get out, because in person a lot of things can get lost in translation. So that's just a small personal example of what I want to do, but I'm sure I'll be able to build upon that as I learn and as I get more and more involved in things. But I never want to forget that leading by communication is extremely important, because I do know that that's where many strong leaders can lose their spot and can mess up. So, in conclusion, as I said, my core philosophy of leadership is values-based leadership, where I really hope to get involved and amplify my values with being involved in groups that share my mission, and working with people that share my mission, so that those values can be fostered and strengthened. And I think that ties into the communication, because knowing the mission and knowing the values is extremely important, and communicating those are as well extremely important in leadership. So, to skip ahead, I also value communication because I do believe it's a foundation of leadership. And then I also want to embody supportive leadership. So I want to help amplify or bring up the people next to me and motivate them and help them be their best selves and realizing their strengths. And I think that can even be reflected within myself. And I also want to identify my own strengths and my own weaknesses and work on them, and put myself in situations where I do make those strengths stronger and minimize those weaknesses. And so as of now, just starting off on my MD, MBA, I believe that's where I hope to stand out as a leader. I'm sure that that'll change just a little bit, but I think that can really give me a strong foundation for what's to come. Even, just starting out, not being sure where I'm going to lead and what exact organization I'll be a leader in, but carrying those 3 core philosophies with me and leadership theories with me, I think will make me a strong one. So I'd like to thank you, Professor, for giving us such a great class, and I really hope to keep this with me as I make it through my career. Thank you very much.